Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
It is the Monday after a classic SEC football game from Gainesville, Florida on Saturday. Alabama 31, Florida 29. What a game. We're going to talk about it, review it, take your Facebook Live comments, questions here as we kick off a Monday edition of College Sports Today inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, inside Coach's Podcast Room. We call it the Future Home Loan Studios. Thank you to Allen Law Firm. I'll tell you all about the stuff we did over the weekend, and Allen Law Firm was involved. We appreciate their involvement on College Sports Today. Coach Steve Spurrier, I want to hand it off to you. I was in the stadium Saturday. You, of course, were in your stadium on Saturday for the game that turned out to be a classic. Pick up. I want you to, Johnny Carson, take a monologue here and everything that you digested from Saturday's big game.
Obviously, we had our chance. We had our chance to beat the number one team in the country, Alabama. We didn't play a great game. We played a really good game. And obviously, when you beat a team like that, you can't miss an extra point.
Sure.
Sometimes that comes back to haunt you, which it did. And some other things here and there. The crowd was unbelievable.
Super crowd.
The first quarter, but unfortunately, Alabama went right down the field. But it lets our players know that, hey, we're behind you guys all the way. We're going to do our part. And the fans were outstanding, fantastic, the entire game. And obviously, we did have a chance. We sort of messed up that two-point play somehow. I don't know who messed up. I don't know.
Little zone read? Was that a little read in there, right?
Yeah. Some people said he was supposed to give it to him, and other people said, well, he was trying to pull it out, and the running back held on too long. I don't know exactly what happened. Haven't heard it explained. I sort of wish we'd known more about AR-15, Anthony Richardson, before the game. You know, all week we've been told that he's cleared to play. So I really think the fans were thinking he's going in there sometime soon. But Emory played a heck of a game.
I thought Jones played a whale of a game.
That was his best game as a Gator.
Sure was.
And if he continues to get better and better, he's got a chance to be the quarterback the whole year. But the hamstring with Anthony Richardson, AR-15. He's already got that nickname. And then he was doing his famous backflip before the game. So that didn't look like a guy with a bad hamstring. So I hope the trainers, if we play, when we're playing Tennessee, if he's out again, and I can understand him being out, because if his hamstrings bothering him, we need him the whole season.
Long season.
Yeah. Trainers should say, man, don't go out there and do your backflips, because everybody thinks you're 100% healthy when you do that backflip. But anyway, that's just another thing. The booing, we got to stop the booing. That's not Gators. We don't need to do that. I don't know exactly what we were booing. If referees make a bad call and you want to boo, I guess that's
fine.
okay.
That's fine.
Don't boo our players or coaches. If you ever hear Tuscaloosa, Alabama fans booing, then I'll say it's okay. But I don't think they've ever done that in the last 100 years. So. Let's don't boo our players especially and go from there. But other than that, it was a heck of a game. We didn't play that almost perfect game, which maybe it needed. But what it did say is we can run the ball for 275 yards against Alabama or whatever it was, then we can run on anybody. And but we got to be ready this week. Sometimes you get a hangover from one of those games like that. and really be ready for Tennessee. Tennessee's got a good offense. They can score.
Yes, they can.
And I hope we can run it just as well or even better against Tennessee this week. And if we can do that, we certainly will have a real good chance.
Yeah, really turned into a classic ball game. Really, it was two games. Both teams, I thought, Coach Spurrier, Alabama and Florida, dominated their half of the game. Alabama, right out of the gate, they dominated to the tune of 21-3. Florida, their half of the game that they dominated, Florida won their half 26-10. So 21-3 Alabama, 26-10 Florida. Problem is, Alabama won by 18. Florida won their portion of the game by 16 with the missed extra point. So really 2 games in one. Florida had trouble with and they had it last year in Atlanta as well. Florida couldn't they got several stops. They didn't get the critical stop on Alabama. And, Coach, I thought also early in the game, you can't let Alabama score 3 consecutive touchdowns. That set the personality of the game. It was 21 just like that. The personality of the game was set, Coach, and the personality of the game was Florida was in chase mode the entire game because of those 21 quick points. If Florida could have got one of their stops somewhere to break that 21-point run, they might not. It was they were in chase mode the whole game, and it's tough to chase a really good team all game.
But yeah, it was close there in the fourth quarter. You know, it was within a touchdown. We had that one interception. Our number 1 linebacker,
Brenton Cox.
Yeah, and he couldn't hold on to it. So that they ended up scoring a touchdown that drive.
Yeah.
So. To beat the number 1 team in the country, man, every opportunity you almost have to cash in on, and we just didn't quite do it.
We got Ted checking in. We got Andrew checking in. We'll try and get to a bunch of comments as we go. The first 2 Gator games was Dan Mullen / Florida maybe holding some stuff back. I saw some stuff like everybody right out of the gate. The tight end, I think, caught the first 2 or 3 passes. Florida hadn't thrown to the tight end the first 2 games. But Gamble catches, I think, the first 2 passes of the game. So the tight end was a factor that Florida did not. I don't even think Florida threw to our tight end or their tight ends the first 2 games. And you mentioned Brenton Cox, the near interception. That was one of those zone blitzes where Cox, defensive end, dropped back. I don't recall Cox doing that. That might have been a little wrinkle that Grantham put in, and it worked because he was right there. Now, big defensive end didn't catch the ball, but that was a nice wrinkle Florida put in defensively. Cox got in the passing lane, and the play was there to be made. He just dropped the ball.
Yeah, I think Coach Grantham had some new wrinkles that worked out very well, especially against the run.
Yeah,
they didn't run but 90 yards or so, 91 or 2.
Yeah, under 100. Yes, sir.
And just a few more third down stops might have been the difference. And I think we're in position, and we get in a position for one of those interceptions. Need to make it against good teams. But overall, it was a game that. We could have. All we did, we proved we were capable of beating Alabama, but we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in moral victories. I know a lot of people say, "Man, this is a moral victory," but you got to build on it. It's only one game, and it's not an Eastern Division. That's what's good. It's a Western Division foe, so it's still we got to get the game set up for the Georgia game. But so that means we got to beat Tennessee.
Well said,
we got to beat everybody, and then we concentrate on Georgia, but not till. Don't worry about Georgia. Let's worry about Tennessee this week.
Well, I love where you went right there. Before we go to break, all the talk now, Florida, Alabama, rematch in Atlanta. That's all you're hearing. Let me tell you something. You've been in that league as a player and a coach. You know it. I've been around this league a long time. There's a lot of meat on the bone for Florida and Georgia before they meet Halloween weekend. Florida has Tennessee, and these are consecutive, no off week. Tennessee Saturday, so Florida has Tennessee at Kentucky, Vanderbilt at LSU.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of work to get to one loss still to Jacksonville.
And let me tell you what, Alabama's got to go to Texas A&M.
Yes.
I guarantee you.
Ole Miss as well.
Nick Saban's not telling these guys we may see him again. Nobody's talking like that.
No.
You got to worry about the next opponent.
Tell you something, I watched that Kentucky-Missouri game last Saturday. Those 2 teams are good.
Are capable.
Tennessee's going to move the football. I don't know if they can stop Florida. Tennessee's going to move the football. LSU is... Maybe they're not going to have a great year. LSU is just wacky enough, but just talented enough. They'll beat somebody they're not supposed to this year. Ed Orgeron, they'll get it all together. And don't you think they wouldn't love to ruin Florida's season in a couple, 3 or 4 weeks? There's a lot of meat on the bone. Hell, Georgia. Now, they don't have a loss yet in conference, but Georgia has at Vanderbilt Saturday, Arkansas, at Auburn, at Kentucky before Jacksonville. there's a lot of tough putts for Florida and Georgia before they start talking about meeting each
That's
other.
right.
Wouldn't you say?
Oh, exactly.
A lot of tough putts.
Yeah, exactly. It's one game at a time and try to get better and better as the season progresses.
Boy, before we take a break, we want to talk about more Florida-Alabama, obviously, Coach, but a lot of stuff happened over the weekend. FSU, another just miserable performance. Miami got drug all over the field. We'll get to that, but I want to go back real quick. Emory Jones played his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Tip of the hat to Emory. He got a lot of help. The lines of scrimmage, Florida caught most of the balls that were there. Emory Jones impressed me as a person first. Obviously, he put some cotton in his ears, right? And he went out and played a great game. Talk a little bit more about Emory's play.
Well, the one interception, I mean, the guy
that was in his chest.
Guy hit him right in his chest, forced a little bit of a high throw, but yeah, overall, Emory had his best game as a Gator, I think, and he's the starter this week, and hopefully everyone's going to rally around him.
Sure.
If Anthony Richardson is able to play, I guess he'll play because he's been playing pretty dang well when he plays. So maybe it'll be a two-quarterback system the entire season, which can work. So we'll just have to wait and see.
One other tip of the hat to Alabama. They had some stuff go against them Saturday. Florida won both lines of scrimmage. Florida pitched at one point three consecutive 3-and-outs, I think it was, in the first half. Florida stopped them a lot, but Alabama, they never made that critical mistake. Cox almost got an interception. They didn't fumble the ball. They never quite gave Florida that one break that might have swung it back. Alabama played efficient football, and they were up against it. That was a nasty crowd they were facing. And the crowd was a factor. It was a factor. A lot of offsides, a lot of delay of games.
Yeah, they threw that little swing pass to the running back, and we couldn't tackle the guy. Yeah, if we could break down and get that guy down, it was, I think, two of the touchdowns in the first quarter was the swing pass. So we got to tackle a little bit better. Stay in position. Don't lunge.
Open field.
Know where your help is. All those kind of things. I think we can get better at our tackling.
That's tough, didn't it, Coach? Open field. Whoever's at this level of football, whoever's got that ball is a damn good athlete. Out in open space. That's a tough. There's nobody to help you. One-on-one. That's tough.
Yeah, you can't lunge at them, and you can't go for the first juke. It's tough, but when you're one-on-one the whole field, you just got to try to get a piece of him and
hope you can rally.
Helps on the
rally some help. Let's take a break. A lot to get to. We'll continue. Alabama, Florida turned into an instant classic. We thought it might be getting away from Florida 21-3, but man, it turned into one of those. That game will be replayed all next summer. It is an instant classic from the SEC. A lot of college ball to review, and we'll peek ahead a little bit on this Monday edition. FSU, Miami, Oklahoma, another tight game. Boy, the Big Ten is tight. Auburn, Penn State played a classic on Saturday night. A lot of college football to talk about with the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, and you when we come back on College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
The good vibes!
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
What a big-time atmosphere it was Saturday in Gainesville. Speaking of in Gainesville, we're inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, College Sports Today on a Monday, presented by the Allen Law Firm. We are inside Coach's podcast room here at the grill, and I know it was hopping. Thanks to Future Home Loans, our studio sponsor, and all of our wonderful sponsors, including Vida de Luis. I guarantee you, the Coco Loco drink was going out of here on Saturday all day and night, and that thing is filled up with the coconut, cream of coconut, and lemon, and orange, and of course, that wonderful Vida de Luis tequila that is served here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Coach, get back to a bunch of games. We'll continue Florida, Alabama, and look around college football this past weekend. Reports were that this joint was jumping all Friday and Saturday. This place was really rocking, and everybody was real happy.
Yeah, all weekend. Our restaurant here was abuzz, I guess you'd say. Yeah, you need to get a reservation a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
But Eric Rett, my running back here from the early 90s, came by. Good to see him here after the game. But, yeah, I tell you what, the Alabama people were here. They're good fans. Yeah, a bunch of them say, Coach, can I get a picture? I said, sure. So I was taking pictures with the Bama guys and mostly all the Gators and so forth here at the restaurant. But, yeah, we'll be here again this week. Tennessee will probably have some fans here.
Night game.
And, yeah, I think we're a little bit more buddies with them now.
Sure.
I think we've beaten them about 15 in the last 18 or 19 years or something. I don't know what it is. But they're good people, too. So we're looking forward to a good sportsmanship game this weekend.
Night game for Florida, 7 o'clock, ESPN.
And again, we got our 95, 96 teams coming back. And I think all those Gators out there know these are two of the greatest teams in school history. 95 team, the first ever undefeated, untied team throughout the season. And still the only one to do that and win the SEC.
How about that?
The only one ever to do
How about
that. And our 91 team went 7-0, but then our 95 and 96 team went 9-0 in SEC play. They're the only two to do that. So we've been playing in the SEC since 1933.
Well,
what's that?
80
80-something years or so. So it's quite a record that those two teams have. So I'm sure our Gators are going to give them a nice ovation between the first and second quarter.
That's when
we'll bring them out there.
Between the first and second quarter, 95 and 96 Gator teams are honored for just incredible runs. Again, Florida's played football, college football over 100 years and been in the SEC as a charter member. And you just don't go. It's hard to put a big goose egg in the SEC column.
We won the national championship. The other one was runner-up. Both of them went 12-1. We would have been runner-up in 96 if Arizona State had beat Ohio State. We had some good breaks to put us in position on the rematch with FSU. So I tell you what, both those teams very equal in my opinion.
I was going to say, Coach, you've brought this up a lot, and I'm right with you. That 95 and 96, two separate teams, they're almost the same team.
Players.
They're almost the same damn team.
Well, we had a lot of seniors on that 95
a lot of carryover, though,
So,
that next year. 95 got so close. A lot of carryover. You mentioned Eric Rett. I saw the photo. It was a great photo. It's out there on the Facebook. Boy, he looks good. He looks like he could put the pads on. Eric looked wonderful in that photo outside over the weekend.
Yeah,
Boy, he ran hard, didn't he? He was a tough motor
he's
scooter.
leading rusher in school history. And obviously, when we got the leads, we sort of run out the clock in that fourth quarter. And it was good to see Fred Taylor. I saw Fred Taylor, well, on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
He's the announcer with the Jags.
Sure.
And does an excellent job. Listening to him a little bit on the radio coming back.
Home, yeah.
He kept talking about the running game. I almost want to disagree with him because the Jags were struggling running the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling running, then you better have the ability to throw it. So, you have to do whatever you can do that day. If it's run, or pass, whatever you think is best for you to attempt. And yesterday we were talking earlier about the Jags in Denver, and they had trouble running the ball and only got 13 points, and obviously not enough to win the game.
No. First offensive possession, score a touchdown, then they get a special teams kick return, and that was it. Coach, looking around college football 10 minutes or so, I wasn't surprised myself at all for by the outcomes of FSU and Miami. FSU got really worked pretty good by Wake Forest at Wake Forest, and I had picked Michigan State. I thought Michigan State would come in and physically beat up Miami down in South Florida. Bad performances by FSU and Miami again over the weekend.
I tell you what, I cannot remember a weekend in the 90s that all three state schools lost. FSU, Miami, and us. I don't know if I think it happened once maybe in 10, 11 years there. I'm not sure. But, anytime the Gators think we're having a tough year, all they got to do is look up Tallahassee and look down there at Miami because those teams are nothing like they used to be. Nothing.
No, FSU, man, you look at their schedule, I don't see many wins. I mean, UMass they've got, and then it's basically all conference games except Florida. Not a lot of wins, and FSU's sitting at 0-3. They've already lost 2 of their home games, so they've given away 2 home games. They've lost on the road. Miami, Miami got 1 win. App State probably should have beat them the other night.
Had a chance to beat them.
Miami and Florida State are really, really struggling. Penn State, Auburn turned into a pretty damn. That would have been the game of the day had it not been for Alabama, Florida. Penn State, Auburn turned into a pretty good heavyweight battle that night.
Yeah, I tell you what, 107,000 there at Penn State.
Good crowd.
We think we love football in the South. All we got to do is look at those stadiums all across the country. They love college football all over the United States. So, Auburn had their chances. They didn't play a real clean game and had a play there at the end trying to throw at the end zone. They didn't hit. It wasn't a good play, ended up. But that's what happens to close games. You just need to really, really play efficiently, and Auburn didn't quite do it.
Oklahoma. What do you make of Oklahoma? Another close week by. What do you make of them? Are they bored a little bit? Or are they? I mean,
well, obviously,
2 squeakers.
Yeah, obviously Nebraska was really ready to play. They were really ready, but they won by a touchdown or so.
Yeah, I mean, 23-16, I think it was. Yeah,
the defense sort of pulled them through. Lincoln Riley's offense are not doing anything close to what they've been doing. They used to score 50 about every game.
Yeah.
And now they're scoring in the 20s, but it's been good enough to win. So time will tell if somebody can beat them.
Am I too premature? I'm not sure about DJ at Clemson. Clemson scuffled around. I'm not sure. Am I too premature? Is he that good? The quarterback for Clemson?
Well, I don't know if it's him, the team,
the whole concept,
the running backs. But, I mean, they could have lost that game. Georgia Tech was down there at the goal line. They scored, kick an extra point, 15-14. That would have been one of the huge upsets in Clemson history. But, they're struggling. They don't look all that good on offense, but they do have good defense. And I think somebody in the ACC's got a chance to beat them.
Yeah.
Chance.
I agree. They're not we'll spin off into this, but I don't know if there's a dominant team this year. We've had dominant. Alabama was a dominant team. 2 years ago, LSU became a dominant. I don't know if there's a dominant team out there. I don't know if the Big Ten is the best, deepest conference. It might be the most fun, competitive. The Big Ten right now, Iowa's really good. Penn State, you saw. Michigan State, Mel Tucker's done nice things there. Ohio State's not as dominant, and they're trying to find themselves on defense. Maryland's playing pretty good ball. Wisconsin, the Big Ten, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh. This is the year. You got to believe the Big Ten. If somebody in there or a gang of teams can't jump on Ohio State this year, When are they? But boy, the Big Ten looks like it's going to be a fun 5 or 6 team race, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. They got a good conference up there, and every stadium is packed full, screaming, going crazy. But yeah, this is the year Michigan can beat Ohio State. Ohio State sort of changed defensive coordinators. I heard Ryan Day told one of the other defensive coaches, "You call them this week."
Yes.
And we're going to quit playing. Basically, they've been playing about 2 coverages.
Yeah.
Just a safety in the middle with the 3 deep zone,
yes, sir.
and man-to-man with the safety in the middle. And maybe you need more than 2 coverages nowadays.
Yeah. It was interesting, Ryan Day, and he was very public. Kerry Combs, first-year D coordinator at Ohio State. He's a good, solid veteran position coach. This is his first year. He got elevated, and they've struggled. So Day, like you said, Coach, pulls defensive calls away from his defensive coordinator, gives to another defense, and he sent Combs, who was on the sideline, up in the booth. I hope that dynamic doesn't stir things up. Coach Combs seems to be a veteran, and he's probably been through it before, but boy, that's an odd move. He took the defensive play calling duties away from his defensive coordinator.
I tell you what, when you're struggling and you're a head coach,
try something.
Yeah, try something different. Some of these pro teams, they got offensive coordinators that don't coach anybody now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's going bad, you may say, hey, quarterback coach, you call him this week, see if we can do any better.
Shake it up.
Or receiver coach, somebody, I don't know, running back. But, no, I don't know how they do it. But if it's not working, man, as a head coach, you got to try something different.
Yeah, Big Ten looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, though. 5 or 6 teams, and not, it has been 5 or 6 good teams every year, but then there's an Ohio State up here.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be up here. Coach, the Pac-12 really looks like UCLA lost to Fresno State. I know a lot of people snickered at that. Fresno State's pretty good, okay? But UCLA lost to them, so it now looks like from a national perspective, it's going to be Oregon or nobody in terms of national. USC lost the other game, has lost a game. UCLA has lost a game. Fresno's pretty good. Pac-12, they take a step ahead. They really needed USC to keep winning as well, and UCLA to have 3 teams. But it looks like, is Oregon the class out there, looks like?
Yeah, right now they are. But I tell you what, I like that new coach at SC, Dante Williams.
Yeah, he got bumped up, the interim. Yeah.
Remember he tweeted out, "This is my city, this is my university, this is my team, and we are going to fight on." I mean, it sort of got every Trojan, I think,
and
over.
Is that a statement to tell administration, hey, I wouldn't mind being considered for this job?
Oh, he'll be considered.
Yeah, I want that job.
If he wins almost all of them, he has to be considered. And that's why you remove a coach in the season. If you think you got an interim there that might can spring life. And then what was also interesting, the backup quarterback had to go in and do everything.
And lit it up.
Set all kind of records.
Yeah, Jackson Dart was his name, and set all kind of records.
All kind of records. And he was the backup, which goes to show you sometimes these coaches don't know who their best players are until they get in the game. And I've been there.
Yeah.
That year at Duke, we didn't know this running back we had.
Cuthbert.
Nobody could tackle. Our starter got the wind knocked out of him against Clemson. And so he goes in, and we give him the ball here, there, and the other, and he's running over guys and through guys, which just gives spirit to the entire team. And I said, damn, I didn't know that guy was that good. So he gains 1,000 yards on this season and only started 6 games.
Yeah, 6 games.
And that's why we won the ACC. Our receiver, Clarkson, was the player of the year, caught a whole bunch of touchdowns. Randy Cuthbert ran the ball and took over the ball games with our offensive line.
Did you see, we'll divert one more minute with USC. Did you see USC? They played, and they won big. They flew to Pullman, right? They played Washington State, and they got the win. Did you see their plane?
Yeah,
it landed, and it tipped backwards on the tarmac. They didn't put there's a little booster thing that holds the plane, I guess, because it's so heavy. The ground crew didn't put it. The damn plane was sitting there.
Now, was the team in it then or not?
Half of them.
Half was still
Half
in?
of them. And Coach, I think what it was, I'm just guessing, I didn't hear the whole story. Plane lands, big old plane, full of 100-something people traveling. And I know you're supposed to chalk the wheel so the plane doesn't. And they say you put a little brace in the back because the people in the front get off first. So it's going to be heavier in the back. Well, they didn't put the brace to hold it up in the back. And it was
That's what happened.
Yes. Nobody was hurt or anything, but boy, that'll shake you up just getting to the ballpark.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That plane looked like an old plane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
But anyway, I read a quote the other day I want to throw out.
Okay.
Talking about coaches who do something different. It said, exploring new ideas, tactics, and techniques may be needed to lead to success. So don't be afraid to try something different.
Was that a sports quote or just a life? Yeah.
New ideas, new tactics. And
that sounds like Ryan Day.
As coaches,
sounds like Ryan Day.
You have to do that. You have to say, man, what we're doing is not working. Yeah. Let's try something else.
Yeah. We'll let you out on this, Coach. Tough, and this was Thursday night or maybe Friday night. It's been a while ago, a couple days ago. Tough loss for UCF. They fought and fought and fought, and they kind of stole a game over Boise State 2 weeks before, so they almost paid them back. But boy, it's tied. And I guess Louisville throws an interception, and UCF looks like they're going to go down and win it on the last possession. They throw an interception at Karams and returned all the way back, and UCF gets beat. Tough loss for UCF. And the quarterback, the little lefty quarterback, broken collarbone, now out for multiple games. Tough double dip for Gus and the boys, but they stole one a couple weeks earlier, so I guess it balanced out.
Most of all these teams are so close now.
Yeah,
the talent level is close.
It's that portal, Coach. It's that portal.
Makes it exciting for everybody to watch, that's for sure.
Last comment, Andrew is asking you and I don't want us to do this, but I want you to address what we've been saying today. Andrew's basically saying, what do we think Florida's record's going to be the rest of the season? Well, you don't need to look at it 9 games. You need to look at it in chunks, right? I mean, you got to win. There's a lot of landmines out there for Florida. I know he wants us to both say, well, they're going to be undefeated, well, 1 loss, and meet in a. There's a lot of putting you got to make, right, Coach? You can't look 9 games down in this conference.
No, it's very early in the year, and you go week at a time, and teams usually get better or worse. You don't stay the same. Whatever you're at, you don't stay the same. So hopefully our team will continue to get better, and I think we have through the first 3 games.
Totally agree.
So if we can keep heading in that direction, got a chance for a big year.
You just got to look out when sometime, Coach, you've been there, player or coach. You go on the road. The other team makes a couple great plays. There's some ill-timed flags, and the ball doesn't bounce right. You look up, and it's mid-4th quarter, and you're in a dogfight with a team you didn't think you were going to be in a dogfight with. That's called the SEC.
Let me tell you something ironic now. When South Carolina beat Alabama, everybody talks about that back in 2010. Alabama missed an extra point. When you miss an extra point, and then they went for 2 the next time and didn't make it. So just little things like that, and that was a reason we had a chance to upset them. They just did not play well, and we played close to perfect.
Yeah, interesting. Coach Spurrier, get on out of here. I know you're had a busy weekend. You got a lot of work to do as we open up a new week. Coach will be back on Friday for the Friday edition of College Sports Day. I'll come back, wrap up. We've got a couple topics we want to hit, but we'll let Coach get about his business on a Monday. It is College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Louis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Louis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida, and of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Well, I always enjoy talking ball with the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, here on a Monday after Florida and Alabama. Good week in college football. It's always a good weekend in college football. And this coming Friday, Coach will be right back here on the set here at College Sports Today, presented by the Allen Law Firm. Remember, injured, been in an accident, somebody in your family, somebody close to you has been in an accident or been injured, you need to turn to somebody. Let me tell you what, talk to the experts at the Allen Law Firm. Very easy to reach these folks. Pick up your phone. Pound, yes. Hit pound YES. That'll get you right through to the folks at Allen Law Firm, who, by the way, we had a great time. Our big radio broadcast from Gainesville on our stations out of Jacksonville. We had the radio broadcast at Sonny's Barbecue. Great hospitality. Shannon Snell, former Gator, is the pit boss over at the Sonny's on Archer Road. We had a great time over there. The folks from Allen Law Firm, they were there. Sally did a great job. We had also our friends from Future Home Loans. Ryan came over from the Gainesville office of Future Home Loans, our studio sponsor. He was giving away a lot of stuff, talking to everybody. Also, Vida de Louis. We had swag from Vida de Louis. We had a big time. I want to thank everybody that stopped by. I want to thank Sonny's on Archer Road for their hospitality. The 1010XL 92.5 broadcast, myself and Matt Hayes, we had a big time. And boy, there was some good food being consumed. Thank you to everybody and all of our sponsors that make this show happen. We can't do it without our sponsors, including J.B. Coxwell Contracting, Sliders Oyster Bar, and the two Safe Harbor Seafood locations, Crescent Beach and Mayport. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We still have the free football season advertising special going on. We'll now knock it down. Pay for 3 months of football. The next 3 months, get 4 months free. So get the fourth month free. So you get the extra month. Contact me, Terry Norvell, my website, or excuse me, my email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Great football special to advertise. Don't forget now, get your product and service out there as we are closing in on, I hate to say it, the Christmas season. You're trying to get some Christmas stuff moved, some products, some merchandise, or your service. Great way to hit a heavy state of Florida and, of course, Southeast viewing audience and our podcast. Remember now, the show is on multiple Facebook Live pages, including our show Facebook page that you're on right now. Some of you, Facebook, College Sports Today's Facebook. We're on the 1010XL Facebook page live, the big stations out of Jacksonville. We're on my personal Facebook Live page, YouTube, and then the show audio. Every show is on the 15 leading platforms, podcast platforms. We want to always give a shout out to our podcast listeners and remind all the podcast listeners out there, no matter all the 15 leading platforms, no matter how you consume the show, make sure you like the Facebook Live page, College Sports Today. That way you can visually get all the updates and follow what is happening with our show. Our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week, we'll go over them and get this coming Saturday's picks. So far, Shane is leading. I have crept into the second spot for at least 1 week, and Coach Spurrier pulling up the third spot. Coach was 5-7. Shane was 7-5. Well, Terry led the way. I had a little 8-4 week this past Saturday from the games we picked this past weekend. We'll do our picks again on Friday. You don't want to miss that. Shane joined us. We have a lot of fun. Enjoyed today's show. Hope you did as well. Coach Spurrier, some great insight. Florida falls to Alabama. Really, in a nutshell, Florida couldn't get one critical third down stop. If you broke the game down, Alabama won their half of the game by 18 points. Florida dominated and won their part of the game by 16 points. Alabama jumped out 21-3. Florida finished the game 26-10. 18 trumps 16. The other thing I took away, yes, Florida got a lot of stops on defense, particularly in the second quarter and throughout the second half. They really needed, the Gators did, one stop in Alabama's first 3 drives of the ball game. Alabama scored their first 3 touchdowns, the first 3 times they touched the ball. They jumped out to a 21-3 lead. What that did, and it happened in Atlanta last year in the SEC championship game when Alabama and Florida met, Alabama set the personality of the game by scoring 3 consecutive times to open up this past game Saturday in Gainesville. Alabama set the personality, and the personality was Florida was in chase mode the entire game. Remember, the game in Atlanta. Florida, I don't think, ever tied the game. They certainly never had the lead. Florida in Atlanta. Against a really good football team, last December, Florida was in chase mode the entire game. It's tough when you're facing a really good football team to be in chase mode right out of the game. Remember, that game didn't go back and forth. Florida never tied this Saturday. They never took the lead. You got the feeling if the Gators, particularly in the second half, could have tied the game and certainly could have taken the lead, they would have won that game. But they were in chase mode the entire game because the personality of the game got set by Alabama. Tell you another thing that really factored in. In the second half, Alabama was driving. There was a situation, Alabama broke their huddle, and you remember the Kentucky games where Florida scored a couple touchdowns a few years ago with 2 unguarded players? Alabama lined up. They had 2 unguarded players. Florida had to take a timeout because of an alignment. That lack of that third timeout really came back to haunt Florida late in the game when they got the ball with 10 seconds. Had they had one more timeout they had to use because of an alignment situation earlier, one more timeout, Florida gets the ball with a minute left. But they didn't have it. They only had 2, not 3. Little things. 2 good teams play. Sometimes it comes down to the little things. That'll wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. The Monday edition. Thanks to all the sponsors. We appreciate everybody that supports our show. You see a lot of the bugs on the screen there, but we have a bunch of sponsors that make this show happen. I want to thank Coach Spurrier, the head ball coach, of course, is in on Mondays and Fridays here on College Sports Day. He'll be back Friday. We'll make our picks and be joined by Shane Matthews. For Evan Miller producing, I'm Terry Norvell. Thank you for tuning in to College Sports Today. We will see you on Friday for the next edition of our show.